It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Jackson Williams. The Tennessee Vols baseball team finished out their regular season SEC schedule with a 3-game sweep of South Carolina in Knoxville. Those scores were 9-3, 8-3, and 4-1 respectively. The sweep plus one Kentucky loss gave Tennessee a share of the SEC regular season title with the Wildcats, and the Vols will be the number 1 seed this week at the SEC tournament in Hoover, Alabama. Nashville SC drew 1-1 with Atlanta United in their first game without manager Gary Smith. Hani Mukhtar scored a penalty goal in the 40th minute, but Atlanta tied it up in the 55th for the draw. Nashville will take on Montreal in Montreal this Saturday, and you can catch that game right here on The Zone. In the NBA, we had 2 Game 7s yesterday as the Indiana Pacers defeated the New York Knicks 130-109, and the Timberwolves rallied from down 20 to defeat the Nuggets 98-90. The Wolves will go on to play the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hey. Greetings, Nash Vegas. He is Blaine Bishop. I am Brad Hopkins. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, and you've got us till 3. 1:45, we're going to have our ding-dong of the week. It's nomenclature around here because people do stupid stuff, and we like talking about it. And at 2:20, since the number 1 golfer, Scotty Scheffler, lost this weekend, opening the door to Xander Schauffele to get his first major win. Yeah, Schauffele.
Oh, that sounds like a steak or something.
A souffle?
Souffle?
No, his name is Schauffele.
Schauffele.
Anyway,
okay.
He actually won his first major. He was actually the best golfer in the world to not have won one.
I know.
Virgil Herring is going to stop by the show to kind of break that down for us. We got a lot to unpack, man. Got NBA playoffs, conference wins. Playoffs. Got conference finals set. We've got Xander. Obviously, we're talking about Xander Schauffele. Tennessee baseball is in the news. Baseball, softball, and basketball. They set SEC records by winning the regular season championships, all in the same season.
Yeah. Bananas was all pumped up about it, man.
That's what he should.
He was sending articles all over the place.
Bananas,
Texas.
is that what he's doing?
King of Spring. That's what the University of Tennessee is. The King of Spring.
King of Spring. I'm digging that.
King of Spring?
Yeah, because the baseball month. Yeah. Well, basketball kind of rolls into the spring. That's a winter sport, but
yeah, but you finish it in the spring. Ish. The start of spring.
That works.
See, he's just trying to find a narrative. It's okay.
King of Spring. That's what I'm doing.
What it means is a lot of success for Tennessee and the brand. No doubt about it, man. They are peak before. Matter of fact, Bananas, when is another time that this has happened in Tennessee history? Or has it never happened?
It's never happened.
It's never happened, right? With all the success in football, all the other sports weren't having that same quite success, huh?
Yeah, so this is, so right
with
now.
With baseball, for sure not. Softball, though, they've had just some ups and downs. Basketball, women's basketball, we know they have Lady Vols.
Did any of the programs that you were at in college transcend into the, you know what I'm talking about, like when you were a part of the football program, did all of a sudden your basketball program become good? That happened to me at Illinois. At Illinois, we had some really good, talented players on football, but guess what? We went to the Final Four in basketball. They kind of,
Is that when you had Marcus Liberty?
Nick Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, Kendall Gill.
See,
I know.
See, I know you know. Mm-hmm. I know you know because you're old.
No. Because 2 guys from my high school was on your team with you.
So you had a lot of dudes that came out of your high school.
Yeah. So I would pay attention because I was still pissed off for greatness that I didn't get to go there.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like my daughter has a national championship for Tennessee on the dance team.
See, they've had a game. You didn't add that to the.
And they would always say, "It's great to be a Tennessee Vol." That's right. It's great. I don't know if you've ever did that.
Yep, that is a chant that we did at football games.
And I guess nowadays it's true. It doesn't get any truer than that.
Well, good for them. Yeah, gotta be, man. That's pretty outstanding. What's the award when you have success in all the sports, like amongst all the?
It's called the Butt Kicker Award.
No, is it?
Oh no, there is a.
Stop that.
There is.
It is an award.
I have to look it up. There is an award for like a program.
All the SEC teams. Yeah, if you have a lot of success.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but that's pretty cool, man. Because reason why? Think about all the negativity with all the Pruitt and going through. Some of the coach. The baseball wasn't where it was. It is today with Vitala. It was some down moments. A lot of people, who were Tennessee fans stopped supporting. Didn't say they went somewhere else, but they just stopped supporting as much. And now the things have kind of turned the corner, man. You got to be excited just as a fan of Tennessee that they got a lot of stuff rocking and rolling right now.
Especially when you have a number one team in baseball.
Dang,
right, that won its for the fifth time on Saturday.
Vandy who? Oh, by the way, Vandy helped you out.
And listen, no, hold on a second, though. Vandy might have an opportunity to just at least going out, take some feathers with them, if you know what I'm talking about. Ooh. Because they could possibly get matched up in a round against the Vols as they await the winner in this first round of the SEC tournament. What if they just punched them in the face and got a win? Wouldn't that just kind of make their season? I'm just a supporter of Tim Corbin. Loved him to death ever since I got a chance to meet him and just talk about his legacy that he's created over there down Main Street, right down the street from where we are, right? Yeah. I get the Vol influence. I dig it. There's a lot to talk about there, especially when you are as competitive as they have been in a multitude of sports, and that's why we're talking about this.
Well, they still have real good pitching there, Corbin and those guys.
How about them bats, man? Christian Moore got him back in this last outing.
I'm talking about Vandy got great pitching, so you just never know when you get in the tournament how that all works out.
Right. Kentucky tried to sweep them. Mm-hmm. Right? Didn't. That's what helped get us, a share of the title. Thank you, Mr. Commodore.
The All Sports Award, the SEC All Sports Award. So 2023, Tennessee actually swept the men's and women's All Sports Awards, earning them the top spot in the overall standing. And they're actually just, that's their second consecutive SEC All Sports Award from last year. So they could be going for 3 in a row this year.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
There you go, Banana.
Them getting the share. And, of course, JB, we were talking about the softball team, them winning a championship, and this is for the second straight season. So we're talking about pretty much some dominance, at least on the diamond, for the Vols. Basketball sneaking up in there.
Quick quiz question.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, Bananas, you help him out. It's not a tough one, but you may or may not know, depending on how much Lady Vols softball you watch.
You got me.
No. This is not about actual play.
Okay.
It's about a player. Who is the player, at least if you can get the last name right,
oh my gosh,
that their dad played in the NFL?
Shut your mouth.
I know you know.
I don't think I know this.
Oh, my! I know something Bananas doesn't know about Tennessee.
All right, I'm trying to. Is it one of the big name players?
Yes.
Okay, so Kiki Malloy.
There you go.
Was it Lawyer's daughter?
Lawyer Malloy's
Shut your mouth.
daughter.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Lawyer Malloy's daughter.
She chose to go to Tennessee.
Remember, he played for the Falcons, so that was at the time when she was young, and that's when she was getting recruited. And, now he's back on the West Coast. But, yeah, that's his daughter.
How about that? Things we didn't know.
You got it right.
She's one of the best players on that team. So I just
for the last 2 or 3 years, I don't know if she was the best, but she's been a better hitter.
So I figured she was a good start, and I guess
that was a
hit
good question to ask first off. If you had so many questions to ask, see there.
You should have just act like you knew it.
No,
JB. When you said Malloy, there's Kiki Malloy, and just said it like that confidently, you would have not known that you didn't know.
No,
you could have been fishing him. I like it. Hey, anyway, you said before the show started that you and your mom used to go to Pacers games.
Oh, yeah. We did. No, I said my aunt.
Your aunt. She's taking Pacers games.
Ticket. Yeah, the late, great
You feeling any certain way about them taking down the Knicks in a Game 7 in the Garden?
Well, I mean, they did that when we were going to the games with Reggie Miller. He put the choke signal.
What's that do for you today, though, man?
Well, it's a little different now. They got a lot of young players who are very talented. I'm actually surprised, not only that they beat them, that they've gone this far because they don't play defense, but when they've gotten in the playoffs, they play defense. But during the regular season, they always about scoring. It was all about scoring. They didn't play defense. Yeah. And so now they've kind of hunkered down, and I'm a little surprised. And I mean, they had all, so I think the starting 5 all had double figures. I mean, well, yeah, it was close, but I'm a little surprised. Very talented. They're a year ahead of time, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Siakam came, and he came like half. Yeah, so this is
Tyrese Halliburton.
But
these are
Halliburton's
studs,
a point guard.
Yeah, man. He's some studs, second scorer.
Handle the point. So he was the one talking smack too from the beginning to the end, and he kind of went through a tough stretch here coming into the game. Actually,
well, I'll just say this: Rick Carlisle believed in his dudes, and he was trying to call out the fact that there may have been some indiscrepancies when it comes to the officiating up there in the Garden. And that's called home cooking, right? Got to get himself booted out of the game. But either way, I think that maybe that was a galvanizing moment. Hey, man, they just got rid of our coach, man. Yeah. Let's go ahead and whoop these boys in Indianapolis, and that's what happened.
I'm not going to make any excuses, but they've caught some breaks here. The Greek Freak was injured with the Bucks, and then here, like 5 guys have gotten injured for the Knicks. Now, they won, and we all know how that is, but at the same time, hey, they taking advantage of it, so I'm happy for the Patriots.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah, because it's Indy 500.
Oh, my gosh. Julius Randle was out. Anunoby, OG was out. Mitchell Robinson was out.
Bronson got injured in the actual game.
In the game.
Yeah, with his hand.
Well, he gave up a turnover, right?
He
was trying
to
do something extra, and it'll cost you the rest. Come on now.
Hey, that happens, man. The Pacers, you got
putting them on their back, though.
Who would have thought the final 4 teams would be the Pacers, the Wolves,
and who? Go ahead, the Mavericks.
Come on,
and
then we all thought Boston would be here.
And the Jason Tatum led. See, that's why I asked you if you're ready to there seems to always be a torch that gets carried, especially in the NBA, because it's such a facial recognition sport, right?
Very true.
You're really on the court with these players. Literally at the end of their bench,
recognize them
everywhere they go.
Yeah.
Right? So are we ready for this new batch of kids that seem very talented to come in and take over the likes of Kevin Durant and, of course, LeBron James, who seems to be moving on. There's there's guys that are now making names for themselves, like Anthony Edwards, these younger players, even Jalen Brunson himself. I mean, he accepted kind of a minimum max deal, $100 million, which guys were making more because he wasn't considered the Jalen Brunson that we see today. You know, like Perk likes to call him Big Body Brunson. He's about as tall as you. But anyway, he's been playing phenomenal.
Well, I like Ant-Man.
I love watching
even though he
Edwards.
didn't shoot very well in the game until
early,
the end,
he
in the
didn't.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, early.
He kind of closed the deal, but man, he is. Wow, how do you not like his game?
I mean, he's so electric on the court, and
Jeez Louise. That's why they give him the rock every time, because he's got bounce and he's going to be forward. He's leaning 45 degrees and he's coming to the rack with your dome in mind. You know, he played. See, that's why I wish that Ja would just get right. Because he played that same style of aggressive attacking, position that puts defenses on their heels. And he also is a good distributor too, because even on the way to the rock, he sees where the lanes are. He's got good visibility. Not only can he finish on top of your head, but he can also get other guys involved.
And I loved his story coming out, being how nobody really recruited him, Murray State.
How do you miss on that, dude?
Yeah, and then they put him in the other gym with the average players, and then. Hey, he got his opportunity, then boom, bam, it was over.
Boom, bam.
Yeah, see that?
We need him to be right because I want Memphis to be relevant. Last time Memphis was relevant, guess what? Conley was on the team. Now we're watching him up in Minnesota with Ant-Man.
Michael Conley's from Indianapolis.
Yes, he's from, look at that, Indianapolis tie.
He
couldn't wait to say that,
went to Lawrence North right down the street from high school. He was pretty good. But his dad was an Olympian. He was a triple jumper.
We got to take a break. Hey, listen, in about 45 minutes, not 45 minutes, in about 30 minutes, you can give us maybe your ding-dong of the week because we do have a giveaway. We'll tell you more about that on the other side. He is Blaine Bishop. I am Brad Hopkins. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Ding-dong. Tennessee, are you ready to embrace spring with confidence? So check out Cool Ray today and let's make this season a breeze. Get $1,500 off select whole home generators. Ensure your family's comfort and safety. We'll also pay you to upgrade. So you get $1,000 when you upgrade your HVAC system with Cool Ray. Or you can try out the $49 tune-up and refresh your system and beat allergy season with 10% off indoor air quality products. So let the experts at Cool Ray clear your drain for $93 or you won't be charged. And in honor of the National Military Appreciation Month, Cool Ray will be offering an additional 5% discount for all active military members and veterans, making it a total of 10% off during the entire month of May. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody else doing what Cool Ray is doing. So we're your partner in comfort, no matter the season. So here's to a spring filled with sunshine, smiles, and stress-free living. Cool Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumbing right, and lights bright.
So many people trust Two Rivers Ford. Football players, working moms, business owners, Why? Because Two Rivers Ford has been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
This is out. Oh.
Give us your ding dong of the week for a chance to win 2 tickets to see the Nashville Sounds host Charlotte on Wednesday at First Horizon Park. The best ding dong submission wins. We'll be doing that at the 1:45 break. So line them up. Tell us who your ding dong of the weekend was or the week. Or who you may even think might be a ding dong in the future.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm ready for the ding
Mike
dong.
Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, might get my ding dong.
What did he say?
See, he kind of got sideways when a reporter asked him how he felt, just wanting his reaction
After the loss?
to them blowing a 20-point lead, mind you,
Oh, my.
at home.
Yeah, well, I told you the pressure's on them.
Against a guy that told you he was coming back. Anthony Edwards told the Nuggets fans, I'll be back. And after they dismantled them by 45 in Game 6, he kicked the door in and they did it again. So the question was kind of valid, but he said it was a stupid question.
What was the question?
He said the question. He just basically asked Mike how he felt about basically the collapse.
Oh.
And he said it's over.
In
the season's
Game
over.
6? In Game 6?
Yeah, well, Game 7, because obviously now they're out of the series. The defending champions are no longer a part of the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So either way, I just thought, it might be a precursor. It might change for me, but either way. And you're just kind of getting back into that. I told you during the break that I wanted to get your thoughts about which was more impressionable to you in 2 Game 7s.
More surprising.
Was it more surprising?
Mm-hmm.
Which one was more surprising?
I was pointing
Obviously, both of those 2 Game 7s were lost by home teams, but which was more surprising? The Pacers going into the Garden and doing what they did against the Knicks?
It is the Garden.
Or the Wolves going out to Denver and basically taking out the champions?
Oh, well, for me, I know it's the Garden, but I think the expectation when you take down the defending champions, Denver and Joker, who's pretty much unstoppable, I would say it's the Wolves. And see, they did exactly what I thought. They were down by 20 at half, and they still came out and played with nothing to lose. And especially being down like that, that was even easier to play like that. And they came back. And in basketball, 20 points is not nothing. You get going
right.
three threes in a row. Next thing you know, you're only down by, 13 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I would say that would be more surprising because they were the defending champ, Joker's 3-time MVP, right? Somewhere around there. So, yeah, and he's the best player in the NBA. Yeah, is that there on the road. Oh, man, that was tough. I'm not surprised with the, New York and the Pacers, but as time went on, you thought, there was a possibility. You thought the Pacers had a really good shot of winning that series. So going into it, I didn't, but afterwards, so the surprise is the Wolves, untested, unproven as far as in the playoffs. Let's not forget they were ranked 3 in the West, and Denver was 2. Yeah. So obviously they did a pretty good job. But until you sow the oats and do it in the playoffs, we all know that then you have proven you're one to be reckoned.
Now it's not like the Timberwolves didn't get this thing started. They were up 2-0.
No,
and people were pouring dirt on Nikola and saying, you can't do it again. Yeah. And next thing you know, they rattle off 3 straight to make it a series. But the Timberwolves, with all that speed and that youth, came firing back. Karl Anthony Towns, no matter what you want to say about him, somehow Catmandu shows up when he needs to help out, being a support dude. But
I love everybody understanding their roles, too.
Yeah, and maybe that's, it's probably good coaching, good leadership. But the point is, I think that's more impressive. One, just because of what you just said. Going into Denver's environment, I'm not going to say it was more than the Garden, right? I'm not going to say that, but the expectation of this team hosting a Game 7 with the MVP, Joker, and all of his exploits, I don't think people saw, and especially being up 20 points, people were like, yes, this is kind of what we expected. And everyone was thinking that, but who? The Timberwolves. So they came back, started making plays. Everybody kept saying, matter of fact, I remember at halftime, Reggie Miller was asking the question, like, what's going on with that man? He's got 4 points. They're taking him out of his rhythm. That's what they said. They took him out of his rhythm. Next thing you know, that rhythm came in back. Man. Ooh, and now they got a chance to play the Mavericks. Luka Doncic and all in company.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting.
Now it's going to be fun. Kyrie, you know what? I love his game. Kyrie's game to me is it's timeless. You know what I'm saying? The guy is he plays the below the rim game better than anybody. You know what I mean? He's incredible.
But a lot of people don't like him just because of his off-court
take.
Stuff.
He said basketball is just something. It's just his craft. It's not who he is. I dig it. He's a cerebral kind of cat.
Yeah, well, he said the world is flat.
He's a what?
The world is flat.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Did he say something like that? Who? Kyrie
Irving. Did he say the world was flat?
Oh, yeah,
it's
he
just
did.
Blaine's look
Yeah,
at me.
he
He
was-
looked at
yeah,
me
no,
like
he
the world is flat.
What?
Yeah, Kyrie hit that.
Come on,
Is
Kyrie.
it?
You're smarter than that. Are you joking
Maybe
with us? You poking at us,
maybe,
man?
hey, listen,
media,
maybe the
man,
Matrix is, maybe there's something to that.
He had that few years
know.
after the Boston era of Kyrie where he just kind of was like conspiracy
He's out
theory.
there. Yeah.
And so he's settled down because he took some backlash from some of the stuff he did. But he's settled down and focused on basketball a little bit more, and now look where he's at.
Yeah, well, he said
Western
Jason
Conference
Kidd has
Finals.
been a great role model, helping him through the process and really helped him be who he is today, not only on the court, but also more so off the court. I'm like,
You know, I was thinking of
Really?
at halftime when Chuck said that Rudy Gobert needs to be benched because he was getting ran over. There was one play that they showed where he literally was backing him down in the paint, right? And just Rudy fell over. I don't even know how he fell over.
I think his feet were too big.
Is that even possible with a
That's the
7-footer?
first thing I see when I see him run. I'm like, dang, man, what size
Feet
you
are
at? A
large.
22
Well, he's
or
a
something?
7-foot dude. How far? You can't expect him to have size 10s. That'd be weird. But the point is, he said he should get benched. Rudy Gobert get benched? Come on, now, Chuck,
What is
you're
he,
doing too much.
3 times defensive player of the year?
Yes, exactly. I think he was in most recent times too. So
Oh, my
I get
gosh.
it. I mean, he just wasn't as physical or being able to hold up to the physicality that was the Joker when he was going downhill. And Joker's a big dude now, and he's even lost some pounds.
Yeah, the Joker's, but he's just so super skilled. He's the best. What do you expect? Rudy Gobert.
But okay, and the only reason why I would say that the Pacers is less impressive only because, good night, they didn't have any Julius Randle. OG Anunoby was out. Mitchell Robinson was out. Bohan was out. I mean, it's just.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say.
Everybody's in the infirmary.
Right. Everybody is saying Thibodeau, the head coach, is the reason why
Playing the
all
guys
the
too
players are getting injured because
Why?
they played them too much in the regular season.
Okay,
And I don't know. I haven't watched the Knicks like that, but I know he did have a pattern that when he's with the Bulls.
Okay, so some people are saying that if you translate that to football, some guys some coaches that have the accelerator down early on, they experience injuries later on. But then again, some would say developing those calluses by playing, preparing at that level, that hard, that physical, it pays off down the road when they're playing, especially late when it gets cold. They're used to it.
Right. I don't know if that's the reason or not those guys got injured. Sometimes it's just bad luck.
Bad luck for all these dudes. I just play off 1, 2, 3. And Jalen Brunson was probably the fifth guy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, can you manage them a little bit better? I don't know. I was not watching the Knicks. All I can say is they crumbled when they needed to be rising, and it didn't happen. So,
any team would love to have depth from the bench, right?
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way, that doesn't work for offensive linemen because you just want that unit to be set. But defensive linemen, how often do we see them rotating in and out? All the time, because you want that pressure to be consistent. You want it to be constant, and you need fresh bodies to be able to do that. Same thing in basketball. You want, that dude that's been on the court for like 8 minutes, you need to give him a break. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Why is it certain position groups that they rotate in the NFL? Like wide
That's a good
receivers, a
question.
rotation.
I think
you
it's
just
because of
said D
that.
linemen.
Because you want to be able to keep up a certain amount of pressure. You want to be able to keep up speed on the edges by having fresh bodies that can keep running those go routes. So that way it makes the secondary keeps them honest.
Well, who's the guys that's guarding the guys that's running down the field? Why don't they?
Corners, why don't they get subbed out? When
Right.
that's a good point. Why don't corners get subbed out?
So,
Wow, I never really thought about that.
That's I was like, this is it's almost like it's ingrained in us because that's how it was done before. So that makes it okay. Just think about this: how many times a receiver runs a goal out and then taps his hat and go, get
And
the
the
guy
corner
there.
doesn't do that.
No, the corner. You
can run another one back to back.
You got to run back, bro, and come back and run it again.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
So I just, I can't say that that's the reason or not, but man, it makes sense, but every situation is its own thing. What are people saying on the chat?
Well,
man?
Emmett Jones, because we were talking about our ding dong of the week, and I guarantee you he's probably going to. I'm going to have to submit him from the F&M Bank chat. He said ding dong of the week goes to the Nashville soccer player who missed the ball at the goal line. That's gotta be terrible. Yeah. That's got to be terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a ding dong if you make it? I mean, I think ding dong might be like something you do intentional is just dumb. You know what I mean? He missed the ball. It wasn't like he was trying to miss the ball.
I'm not going to give him the ding. You does that qualify as a ding dong there, Banana?
Probably.
I mean, if it's your job to do it,
if it's your job
to do it, and it's a play that should be made every time, and you just completely whiff on it, you can be considered a ding dong.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh
JB.
Man, I would have got a lot of. I dropped about 5 interceptions for sure, dead in my paws.
Yeah, but you know what they say? They say DBs are just receivers that can't catch.
Right. No, that is true. That is true. That's how I got over there. I used to could catch until my fingers got all jacked up, but. Then things change, and then you go, oh, my, the ball is your friend.
Like if a wide receiver were to drop a wide-open touchdown, and it were like, let's say it was a game-winning touchdown, ding-dong.
Then you're a ding-dong.
Oh, okay, guys.
That makes sense. Okay, touche. Yeah. I liked how you made it a football comparison, so that way it resonated with me.
Yeah, I got you guys.
That was good.
That's why he's here.
But if it wasn't a game winner, what would it be considered? Because that happens every now and then. You lose a little concentration, they take the eyes off the ball.
I mean, it could still be ding dong, but maybe it won't be the most ding dongery thing that happened that day.
Oh, how about this? Lonzo Wright said that the offense is soft, and he spelled soft, SAWFT.
He's
soft.
He's rushed to the Knicks,
but the defense is tough. I don't know if he's talking about
the line.
No, I think he might be talking about the Knicks.
Oh, he may be talking about the line
because they're saying how Tibbs basically. He might be a guy that does too much. I don't know. I think
that follows him after his first stint, or his stint with the Bulls. It's kind of just still. I don't know if he's still that way or not.
Was Derrick Rose hurt a lot?
Oh yeah, Derrick Rose got hurt there.
Yeah, he did get hurt a lot. But that's the way he played the game. He played the game like Russell Westbrook,
super explosive,
1,000 miles an hour, heading towards the rack. You know what I mean? Shooting a jump shot looked awkward. It hurt to watch it.
It hurt.
It's just I don't know the way it is, but I think that this is a group. These young guys like Ant-Man, like Tyrese Halliburton, like even I don't think that Luka's young. If you think about it, he looks like an old dude. Kind of plays the game like an old dude, but that pace, controlling it. He's a young guy that is kind of setting the tone. We'll always be talking about. Giannis Antetokounmpo, whenever he's healthy, that you can't not discount the Bucks because that dude's just ridiculous.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? But anyway, if you want to jump on the conversation, you can. 737-1045. He's Blaine. I'm Brad.
Yeah, but the ding dong, I got a ding dong outside of that basketball though, and it's the obvious one.
Well, you just got to say it could be because we're going to do the segment here in a few minutes. This could be.
It's a could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Is, and that is just.
Oh, so you're just throwing out multiple ding dongs.
That's.
They do come in a 2-pack.
Yeah,
they do come in a 2-pack. Yes, you've never seen a pack of one ding dong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, okay. Well,
anyway, what's your other ding dong?
You just made me forget my ding dong. Oh no, the Scheffler deal with the PGA. Yeah, the Scheffler, and even on the police side of it, him getting arrested. Not the winner, Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler.
Well, Scotty Scheffler lost because his caddy's daughter graduated.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So that's the reason why
through his 10
lost.
wins. Listen, through his 10 wins, guess who was there to help him through the entire 10 wins that he had this year? His caddy. And his caddy had to step away.
When did his caddy step away?
This weekend.
Right.
Missed Saturday, I think.
He missed Saturday, but he didn't miss Friday or Thursday?
He was there Friday.
Oh.
I think he was there to get him right after he got out of jail. He went down to Valhalla and birdied the first hole. Did pretty good, And then, of course, the field caught up to him. And Xander Schauffele and company, they went ahead and did it. Won his first major. But the point is, I think that, when you look at losing someone that has been so pivotal to you, and your success, someone that's giving you the right club, someone that's talking about the right distance.
But you sound like sense. I'm trying to talk about the ding dong. The dingos that he got arrested. See, that's what that had nothing to do with.
Oh, I thought you were losing the tournament.
No. I know the ding dong is that he got arrested, and do we know
the details though?
To that point, arrested him. I think it's a two-way ding dong.
Both of them were ding dongs.
Yeah,
the
because
detective.
They're saying the charges are going to get dropped.
Well, what would they charge him with? The guy obviously didn't mean to drag this dude.
He got charged for felony assault.
Well, the guy said he put his hand around the mirror.
Yeah. But it's completely the police officer's fault for grabbing the car. But in that situation, it's dark. It's what, like 5 o'clock in the morning there. It's raining. You can't really tell who's who. There's a wreck, so there's like police lights everywhere. Scotty Scheffler's been told, okay, you can go on in. You're in a marked car. You have your credentials out. You're allowed to go in. The cops apparently were not relayed that message, so he tries to do what
But
he
they
was
can
just
read,
told.
though.
No, but he was saying, I guess.
No, I'm
Scotty
talking
was
about the car. They can read that he had a car. I mean, come on now.
It's just the ding dong is on the miscommunication from just everyone.
From both
involved.
of them. Scotty thought he was being waved through. He
That's
thought he
why
was
I said
being
it's a
waved through.
two-way ding dong.
So what's my man doing? What kind of wave was he doing? Like, stop wave?
It's miscommunication on the PGA, on the course, so Valhalla, and the cops, and Scotty Scheffler himself, because everyone's a ding dong because nobody knew what was going on. Everybody was told something different, apparently, and it led to a situation that I don't think he should have been arrested for that, but he was. And he didn't try and play the "Do you know who I am" card. He listened to what the officer said, and he let him put him in the car. They took him to jail. He still did his stretch routine in the cell. So it's not like he was out there like screaming at the cops saying, "Do you know who I am? I'm the #1 golfer in the world."
They should have put him in gym pop. They should have
I
put him
love
in
this how he played
general
well that day.
population.
Oh yeah,
Even though they
Shot a
started
66.
a little later, then they gave him a little.
yeah,
break
because
time.
the rain delayed it. So then, luckily that there was rain that delayed it because he would have
He
missed.
played well that day.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did the first day.
Yeah, he did the first.
And maybe even
day.
the second day, but he finished 6 under.
Yeah.
Guys are finishing 17 under to win the dang
Well, he
thing.
finished 8th.
Tiger Woods was +7, bro.
Tiger was.
He didn't even finish. He didn't make the cut. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Tiger.
What are we doing? If you still
I tried
watching
to tell
Tiger?
Bananas he's done.
I think he's been done though.
Oh yeah, he
But he still moves the needle.
But what are the rules? Can he? I'm like a ding dong. What are the rules? Can he do senior tour?
Yeah, right. When is the senior tour cut? Seriously,
I
JB,
have
do you know?
no idea. I will have to look.
I don't know if he would have a lot of success there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
They need
and
to
don't they
stay
get to use? Do they get to use a
involved in
cart?
golf.
Do they get to use a cart in the senior tour?
I think they do. I don't know.
I have no idea. I'll have to look that up. Or
That
we
would
can
help
ask.
Tiger. That would help Tiger a lot.
because he gets fatigued.
Man, and his back is broke.
Oh man,
The back is back. The back is bad.
Yeah. Now once you talk about back, then knee, then back.
But we're still. Guess what? We still know the tee time of Tiger Woods in any tournament that he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe because the guys that were watching today's, the leaders, they watched Tiger Woods as youngsters, and there's still a level of reverence that they hold, for his accomplishments.
Well, I would say not just them, but also the fans watching like myself and you.
Yeah.
Because we tune in to see, and then you get disappointed, and then you realize he's never going to be Tiger of old.
Woods,
But he can rekindle it certain days. He just can't do it for 4 days.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
When we come back, it's time for the Ding Dong of the Week. 737-1045. Give us your Ding Dong of the Week. And we may even give you 2 tickets to see the Nashville Sounds host Charlotte on Wednesday at First Horizon Park. The best Ding Dong submission wins. Stick around. He's Blaine Bishop. I'm Brad Hopkins. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We'll be right back. That's right. It's Ding Dong time. He's Blaine Bishop. I'm Brad Hopkins. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Load up the phone lines at 737-1045 and give us your Ding Dong of the week. And you might be the guy that wins, or the gal that wins 2 tickets to see the Nashville Sounds host Charlotte on Wednesday at First Horizon Park. The best Ding Dong submission wins, of course. We'll give ours, then you give yours. How about that? Show me yours, I'll show you mine. You want to start us off, B, or you want Joseph? Who wants to start off? JB?
Yeah, you go ahead, Bananas.
I can start off.
Go ahead, Bananas. Who's your Ding Dong of the week?
My Ding Dong of the week is currently the Atlanta Braves for how pitiful they've played these last 2 nights. Last night...
You just give the entire team?
Yes, it's bad. So MVP... 2023 MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. dropped a ball yesterday that was right to him in the outfield. And, he took accountability for it, but the Braves are not playing at a best team in the MLB level right now. And they actually just blew a 5-0 lead to the Padres as they're playing this afternoon. So just the pitiful play from my Atlanta Braves earns them my Ding Dong of the week.
Pitiful play from the Braves gets the entire Braves team.
I know. Come on. You should just say him dropping the ball.
Nope. They all get it. They all get it.
They could have a bad weekend.
It's been more than a weekend. It's been the last couple of weeks. They've dropped the ball figuratively and literally.
Oh, nice. Oh, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
Well, mine is nothing to do with the Braves. Has to do with all the, as Brad would say, all the pundits that would say the Titans are only going to win 6.5 games. Poop on that. No way, no how. And just they might as well just flush Will Levis down the toilet because they just think he's a horrible quarterback.
Name names, B. Name names.
They all know who they are. All those national guys, but we're reading headlines and not even looking at the team. What are you talking about? I can't wait. 6.5. Poop on you. Yeah.
I know that's right. Hey, before we get to the phone lines, I'll give you mine. Listen, Benedictine College.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man, you got to give Harrison Butker.
I got my earplugs in.
Harrison Butker has got to get the ding dong. Got to get a ding dong right there.
Oh.
I mean, you're speaking. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
I get it. There are some people whose vocation is homemaking.
What did he actually tell us what he actually said?
What's going on? He was going, I'm not even going to. What do you
mean you can't go qualify? It's your ding dong.
It is, but you can get into the minutia of what he was saying. He was basically kind of misogynistic, little, obviously narcissistic.
Yeah.
Just in the sacrifice that he thought his wife made to just take care of the crib. He's talking to graduates. Yeah, these women are going on with degrees to forge their way in life. And he said some of their happiest moments will be having kids and getting married. Yeah, and more stuff. Anyway, so that's my thing.
I got one more. That's not the Braves.
Right,
I was a commencement speaker, by the way, too.
But you didn't talk about women not being...
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I just said I was commencement speaker. I did not. I was talking about leadership.
Have you guys heard this story of Birmingham Southern, a Division III school, shutting down?
Oh, I did. I know someone who was part of the program.
And their baseball team is currently going to the College World Series.
You shut your mouth.
The D3 College World Series. So...
Whoa, wow.
They have a chance to advance to the College World Series. If they do advance, they will be playing for a school that no longer exists because that school is shutting down on May 31st. They're in the Super Regionals right now. So if they win 2 out of 3 at the Super Regionals, they'll head to the College World Series for D3, and the school won't exist anymore. There were videos of the school selling off like a bunch of like athletic equipment to pay off debt because the school's shutting down because...
Well, I hope they don't touch the baseball equipment.
I hope not. They're going to need it.
What if they came in and repossessed their bats? That'd be terrible.
Oh, that would be awful. Yeah. But it's a good story for that baseball team.
That's a good story.
They're playing for themselves, but ding dong, because how does that happen?
Yeah. Well, my barber, Cuts and Blessing, Anthony, his son goes to Birmingham Southern. He told us they almost did it 2 years ago. His son plays on the football team.
Hey, how about Alex Shirley on the F&M Bank chat says that Colin Cowherd is his ding dong for calling the Titans an easy win for the Bears and Caleb Williams.
Well, a lot of people think that for their favorite.
An easy win, bro. An easy win. It's his first game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They act like the Titans are just horrible.
Right. You're the long lines of your cupcake. Hey, or your ding dong. Let's go to the phone lines. Bring in Eric from Nashville. He has a ding dong, and it will be submitted. Eric, welcome in. You're on with Blaine and Brad. What's going on?
But Bart Scott last week was talking about the Jets' schedule, and he said after the 49ers, the next several games were homecoming games for the Jets. So that's how people think of the Titans. So let's just throw that out there.
Bart Scott said that?
Yeah, Bart Scott. Yeah, he did.
We've had him on a handful of times.
Can't wait. Yeah,
I know.
Hey guys, but first of all, shout out to Mickey. I'm gonna miss the guy. I'm glad he enjoyed my ding dongs. Good luck to him in his future endeavors. So,
amen to that, brother.
No doubt.
Hey, guys, my ding dong. This actually goes back to last week. I don't know if you heard about this, but this is to allegedly Vanderbilt Commodore fans who I heard went on social media and were calling for the firing
for Corbin. I saw that.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, one, to me, you're not a true Vanderbilt fan if you're doing that, and if you are doing that and you claim to be a Vanderbilt fan, you're an idiot. I mean, please. This guy has been there for that program 20 years. What he's done, I mean, he's taken you and won you 2 college World Series championships. I think he's got to the finals of 2 others in the last 9 or 10 years. This is a guy, class personified. Vanderbilt's not going to fire him, and I don't think he's going to walk away at this time, but if he did, you'll never get back what you've had before. And class act personified, I think a lot of it was they were upset at the fact that until last Sunday, they got beat Tennessee, I think it was 9 straight times, and also a few times this season they had several run rule games. I mean, and talk about class personified, he also had the brother of the kid who died this past weekend that fell down that storm drain in the dugout on that Sunday. Yeah. I mean, that is just disgusting that people would do that to this man. Super, super nice guy. I'm not a Vanderbilt fan, but guys, you're not going to get any better if he walked out the door today. Guys, y'all take care and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, that's kind of a sobering moment.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Let's get this last ding
let's
dong.
get the last one. Reggie in Nashville has a ding dong. Reggie, welcome in. You're on with Blaine and Brad. What's going on?
Hey, I think the ding dong I have is for the guy that comes on before you guys, Buck Rising. He said today that hands down, the quarterback that played with Baltimore, Joe Flacco, was hands down better than Deshaun Watson. Now, granted, Deshaun hadn't played in 2 years, but was he at the game when he played against the Titans, when he just made our defense look like garbage? They had 3 rushers coming at him, and he just eluded them like they weren't even there. Who is Buck Rising? What did he think?
Reggie, appreciate your contribution. Mm-hmm. Buck Rising is a part of that. Well, I made it too, apparently, on the F&M Bank chat for my take on women and their family values of sorts. So someone disagrees with me saying that women may want more in life than just to be, which is an incredible thing, to be married or to even have the opportunity to have kids. But either way, it's part of it. Anyway, we're going to come back on the other side. We'll be catching up at 2:20 with Virgil Herring to talk about the PGA Championship and all the minutia that went along with it. We've talked more golf this past week than we have, and I can't remember. But there is a lot to unpack there. And, of course, we'll be taking your phone calls at 737-1045. He's Blaine. I'm Brad. We're brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We'll be right back.
Stanhouse Bush, fight.
Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Tomorrow is the first day of Titans OTAs as both vets and rookies will be on the field together. We will hear from head coach Brian Callahan and select players after practice, and you can catch all of that right here on The Zone. The SEC tournament bracket has been set for the baseball tournament down in Hoover, Alabama, and the Tennessee Vols are the 1 seed after sweeping South Carolina and then getting some help with a Vandy win over Kentucky that secures the SEC regular season title as co-champs with the Wildcats. Tennessee will play the winner of Vanderbilt and Florida on Wednesday. The NBA Conference Finals are set. It's Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves taking on Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. They will face off, while the 6-seeded Pacers will try and take down the top-seeded Celtics for a spot in the NBA Finals. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Oh, my phone.
Greetings, Nash Vegas. He's Blaine Bishop. I'm Brad Hopkins. We are brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Final hour of the show. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Virgil Herring. Talking all that is golf, especially with a PGA Championship that was just 2 hours away up in Louisville at Valhalla. It had a lot of action going on, especially when the number one golfer in the world gets taken to jail. There is that conversation. And, you know, how about all the attention that drama brought to it? I wonder if as much attention will be brought to NASCAR, given the fact that, just like you teased on the way out, Blaine, Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse might get banned for that right hook.
What? What you talking about?
He popped him
we're
right in the
talking about
chin.
it. That's the whole point.
That's what I'm
They should have
saying.
gotten a fight. But when you saw them, they were intense.
They talked about it at first. I think Kyle should have put his hands up. He should have known that Ricky was coming with something.
Yeah, man. They look like you and Benji up there jumping Josh Evans or
Why
somebody.
me and Benji?
Joe Salavea, man, and Big Fisky. That's what it looked like, man. They were serious, man. When you see it, man, they were going to blows out. Man, but hey, it brings attention, but I know that wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
At first I wanted to say, oh, man, they were bitter, pissed off.
Yeah, they really were. Yeah. And maybe more will come out of that, too. We'll talk a little about that. But you know what? OTAs are also set to take off here tomorrow. I think that we'll have a lot of sounders. Matter of fact, at 1 o'clock when we come on tomorrow, Blaine, I think that there may be some players and coaches at the podium, of which we're going to jump on in there and take a listen, giving us the updates. Yeah. We got rookies and veterans meshing together.
That's why I want to ask you this question.
What?
It just hit me while I'm looking dead at you. Give me your rookie impressions when you first saw the veterans, and then when you became the veteran, I'm the man.
Yeah, how different is it? Yeah.
And then you looked at the rookie.
You know, I was absolutely terrified because think about this. You go from being the oldest dude in the locker room as a senior in college.
And a stud.
Regardless.
Captain of your team or whatever.
And then you go to where there are all pros, and they've been playing professionally longer than you've been playing collegiately. Mm-hmm. And they're really good at what they do. Yeah. And all they do all day long is they're not worried about classes or getting a degree. They're professionals. That's what they do all day long.
But when you were a rookie, you didn't think, I know I'm going to be good.
Heck no.
You did?
Absolutely not.
You gave me
I never approached it that way. I knew that from the very beginning. Listen, I was a 9-day holdout, Blaine, because then was the CBA's first iteration, right? The collective bargaining agreement where they basically changed the power structure of how players were compensated versus owners being compensated.
Oh, I forgot you were late there in San Antonio. You was late.
I was in street clothes because my contract had a lot of incentives that were tied to things that I didn't necessarily have control over, and they wanted to make sure that was above board with the league. Well, the league office, most of the people that were there to approve my contract were over in Japan at the All-American Bowl. Oh. It was crazy. So I literally sat there in street clothes, hitting Big Bertha, on my own, trying to show them my level of dedication to wanting to be, the best left tackle I could be. Yeah. But I still didn't think that, I was going to come in there confidently, kick the door in and start being something. Are you kidding me? I mean, left tackle, you can get exposed out there. Right. And I was a youngster.
Yeah, but it was run and shoot. Did you know what a run and shoot was?
I didn't know what a run or a shoot was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
You learned quickly.
I did. I had to.
What it really means is for a tackle, I'm on an island all the time.
Basically, yeah. So I had to learn that. So then fast forward, though, because, just to finish the question that you asked me before I pose it back to you.
Okay.
as you get older and the pace slows down, the game is coming to you at a level that you understand things because you've seen it. You know, it's repetitive to you. And then you start feeling comfortable in your environment versus the manic anxiety that comes along with the unknown, right? Especially competing at that level. So as I got older and started becoming more confident in the player that I was because of me gaining experience and understanding the pace, you're looking at younger guys that are coming in with their eyeballs as big as saucers. And you're trying to counsel them like, hey, look, just breathe, man. Just take a minute and breathe. When you can trans into that position of a guy that's been around so long to where the little things don't bother you anymore, now you've got a chance to have a career. What about you, man? You came in there, if you think about it, and you love to tell the story. The last pick we took in the draft, someone that was a long shot. You were my roommate because you didn't think that the commitment to Houston was going to be there, and you weren't going to be tied to any sort. Exactly. You thought you would get cut. So tell me, what was your mentality as OTAs were coming about?
And actually, I've said this, and that's why I picked the Minnesota Timberwolves. When you're an athlete and you're confident, but you have nothing to lose, that's a different athlete, and that's what I went into training camp. You know, nobody believed in me but me. That's how I looked at it. And so every time I felt, I didn't feel like it was that bad. I like, well, can't get any worse when I get smashed or taken down, because before that, you know, you've always been the best player on your team. So you've never had that kind of experience. But that's when I learned it's all about not getting defeated and failing. It's how you respond to failures.
Yeah.
And so that at that moment, once I realized that I came back and this is a business and I got to have my briefcase and I need to study my playbook and be ready and make sure that I study the opponent as well. And my opponent at the time then were my own teammates. And so if I could prove to them that I belonged, that would have been good enough for me at that time as a rookie. Now, from the other side of it is you're trying to mentor and, you know, help the younger players and let them realize that it's not all that serious, and don't be so tight-wadded about everything that happens or doesn't happen for you in your way.
Yeah.
Really, and that's what I was trying to do, and teach them that you need to take this serious. It's no longer a game. You better make sure that you know this is a job.
This isn't an old team, but it does have enough veteran influence, in my opinion, for those younger players like a J.C. Latham, who's going to get tremendous coaching, I think, by Bill Callahan. But there are also some guys around, you know, especially in the secondary, like a Jerry Sneed, a Monty Hooker. These guys have some experience behind them to where they can help guys like Jarvis Brownlee get in position. You know, if there's questions to be asked about the pace, how to prepare best, there are at least some shoulders other than the coaching staff for them to lean on. So I think there's a nice little blend there. But there are a lot of question marks that will be started tomorrow in OTAs. How these guys maybe on the right side of the offensive line perform. You know, how the backfield is going to be parceled out with Tony Pollard now in the mix, doing some of the same things that Tajay Spears does.
No, you know I think it's the same. It's a matter of who taps out.
Will it be 50-50 or will it be a huge emphasis?
First of all, we all know how things are dictated, who gets paid the most. So we start off with Tony Pollard, and then he gets tired. Then you put in Tajay Spears. And then you kind of figure it out as you go along the rotation. I don't know if you're ever going to say, oh, they're going to play 50-50. I don't think coaches really do that. I think they come into the game and say, hey, we need to give him a rest at times. We pay this guy big bucks. Makes way more than the minimum salary of a second-year rookie who is just as talented. So then you figure out, okay, who is actually really the best throughout that process. And then you lean on them or whoever has the hot hand at the moment in game situations. But they will be utilized as the same tool. That's what I love. There is no change. There is no dictation of, from a defense perspective, you know when Derrick Henry comes in, what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So that's what I do love, because they can spread them out and put them out wide, and now they're matched up against a linebacker and they're going to run a route or could be used as a decoy. All kind of things can happen with these multi-tool type players, and I love it.
Yeah, I think the players are set to take the field tomorrow at 11:25. They'll be on for approximately an hour and 10 minutes or so. All of this will be in shorts. Okay, and some of the biggest question marks that this team has cannot be answered, Blaine, until they strap up the helmets.
Ooh, especially on that old line.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Ooh. Well, not only that, but the defensive line.
Yeah,
remember last year when Jeffrey Simmons was saying, they can't block me. They can't block me. I mean, it was great to see that there was that kind of disruptive.
That was a scrimmage, right?
Well, that was in, I think, every practice, early on. Yeah. I would hope that Jeffrey would get his.
What are you talking about?
I know, but I don't want it to be that problematic like it was at the beginning last year.
But it was the same when they put on the pads, though. It didn't change.
I know, but what I'm saying is I hope that there's an improvement to where at least they can get some things done in practice. You see what I'm saying? Rather than Jeffrey. Well, Cushenberry at center. And of course, this is year number 2 for Peter Skoronski. I would expect him to be as strong as Jeffrey Simmons was saying he is, confidently in the box. J.C. Latham, we're going to see him on the edge. Matched up, of course, with Sebastian Joseph Day and Kenneth Murray and those kind of guys that are coming around that corner. Arden Key. We're going to see the metal being tested, and that's what we want to be able to ascertain before the season starts, because that's going to help determine how much time Will Levis has to do his job and improve from one year to the next. All this receiving core conversation with Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd, DeAndre Hopkins, of course, being back another year, that will all be directly affected by what those guys, those big bodies up front, are going to be able to do to keep the integrity of the pocket.
Yeah, and who starts at the other linebacker? Is it Gray, the draft pick?
Right. Cedric Gray, the fourth rounder. A lot of dudes. I mean,
I'm still looking for a safety. A veteran safety?
They say that guy may still be on the market, and they're saying that guy might be Justin Simmons.
Oh. Well, sometimes having the best player on the market sometimes isn't the best player for your team. See, you hear what I just said?
I hear you.
Did you understand that?
Yeah.
Right, because it's a puzzle that you're putting together. And if he doesn't really fit the puzzle, then you don't bring him in. I don't know if he fits their puzzle of what they are trying to run. Every player has their strength and weakness. I don't know. All I know is he's a ball hawk. I don't know if that's what they're looking for. And is that a compliment to Hooker? See, this is what people don't understand. Sometimes, just imagine you put 5 great players on a team is what I'm talking about. Let's just use NBA. It's easy. 5 players.
Right.
5 Hall of Fame players. Doesn't mean that they're going to work in unison as one. See? Sometimes everybody has to have their role. Lorenzo Neal, blocker, knockout. No, not a guy who wants the ball. No, that's the job of Eddie George, right? All right, sharp passing game. That's the job of Frank Wycheck.
Yeah.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I don't know. He's the best guy out there, but doesn't mean he's the best player that fits this team and this scheme. So you got to make sure of that. I haven't scouted him enough to say that he does or doesn't fit. I think he can do a lot of different things, but is he the right price? See, then there's that side of it, right? He's been out there for a reason. Why ain't nobody signed him? He's so good, right? He is good. So is he balking at the money that they offered him? Not just the Titans, everybody.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd love to see, there's another hole, which we won't just find out here. I want to see a defensive end get cut and they pick up. Because Arden Key is a rotational player. He is not a starter, all-time, full-time, all-the-time guy. I think if you put him in rotation, then we'll see that production go up and not just all of a sudden every 3 or 4 games we see Arden Key. See, because you're taking that pounding all the time. So I think those 2 spots are the only 2 I think that really needs to be addressed. How they go about it, it'll be interesting to see. But for right now, all those things you talked about are right on point.
We will revisit this conversation after we finish talking with Virgil Herring, because there's a lot of golf news to get into. He's joining us next here. He's Blaine. I'm Brad. We're brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We're not going anywhere, so neither should you.
Ying.
We are back. He's Blaine Bishop. I'm Brad Hopkins, and it's now time to turn our attention to the world of golf. And that's where we bring in Virgil Herring. Virgil,
the expert.
Exactly. Shoot, you don't want to have me and Blaine on your golf team there, Virgil. So that's why we bring you in to kind of help, break down all the action that was this weekend. Of course, with a PGA Championship that starts with the number one golfer in the world getting detained, that makes it pretty interesting, I'd say the least. Virgil, what do you think?
I will tell you, I was speaking in Miami, and I got up at 4:00 in the morning. When I landed, I had 47 voicemails, and I'm like, oh, God, what happened? And then I started reading the text messages from everybody sending it to me. I'm like, I couldn't even believe that as good of a human being as Scotty Scheffler is, that what could he have possibly done to have gotten arrested? And then there's a felony. And I'm like, geez, what happened? And I'm watching this Jeff Darlington video, and it just looks like he said, there was a lot of miscommunication and poor communication. That's for sure. But it certainly seems like it could have been handled a little differently, to say the least. I think it was a huge black eye for the Louisville Police Department, Valhalla, and the PGA Championship. And it was a quadruple bogey across the board. And obviously, with somebody dying, that's a bad deal. And really, Scotty Scheffler showed a level of class and maturity on how he answered questions, and he took accountability on his side of the street. But at the end of the day, a couple of things. How he shot 5 under par after all of that is an absolute miracle. And the way he conducted himself through all of that trauma and duress, we should have more people be looking up to Scotty Scheffler than anybody else. I mean, it was really impressive.
Well, Virgil, thanks for coming on, man. Naturally, how do you pronounce his name? Scheffler?
Scheffler.
Scheffler. Okay. That was his first major. What kind of confidence do you develop once you finally get over the snide to win one? Does that kind of catapult you with your confidence? Because golf is so mental. Where do you think his state of mind is going into the next tournament, which I think is U.S. Open?
Well, I think, both you guys know what it's like at the highest level, right? One of the hardest things to overcome is giving everything you have, doing the best that you can to perform at your highest level and it not being good enough. And the mental toughness that it takes to constantly keep overcoming your best effort not being good enough can break down some people. Xander Schauffele's attitude, he just kept fighting and kept scratching through it. His last big win was the Olympic gold medal, which I actually think should be considered a major championship. But at the end of the day, he's come so close so many times that it should be normal for a lot of doubt to creep in. Is this my time? Is my process good enough? Can I trust myself under the gun? As soon as you have that, it should give you more confidence. But, yesterday's home runs don't win today's baseball games. So at the end of the day, he has to continue doing the right things and understanding there are a lot of great players, and sometimes his very best effort might not be good enough, and that does not mean he's a failure. Right. It just means that he wasn't good enough that day, and not many people are wired for their best to not be good enough and get back up off the mat and do it again.
Well, with Virgil Herring, it was interesting with Xander. I was listening to him talking. They asked him this question about, were you looking at the leaderboard as you were going along there that last day? And he says, well, I've done it multiple different ways. Sometimes I've looked and sometimes I haven't. Why do you think that is? Why aren't you paying attention to the leaderboard, even if you are behind or ahead? It doesn't matter. Take us through that process.
Well, I think he's relying on his caddy to tell him what's up.
Okay. Right?
If he's winning by 1, it's like, hey, let's stay on our process. Let's act as if we still have to play great golf to win. If all of a sudden something's happening, and he'd be able to feel it too, because you'd hear it in the crowds. If somebody's caught him or moving past him, he'll probably know that something's going on. But the caddy be like, hey man, we're losing. We're gonna have to be aggressive here. Or if the caddy stays calm and they just kind of stay on the process, then the player knows that he's still in good shape, even though there's a lot of noise and interference going on. That's why the caddy plays such a huge role, is that not many people can handle the anxiety of seeing a big name come up the leaderboard and take the lead, because now all these past failures come into the forefront. So they're trying their best. Like he said, he wanted to stay in his lane. One of the most important things of elite performance is staying in the immersive present, being in the moment. Don't get too far behind yourself. Don't get too far ahead. Stay right where your feet are. Now, that is easier said than done, but the caddy plays a huge role in that, because the player's probably trying to be in that place until he no longer has a choice, and that's going to be the caddy telling him.
Well, lastly, Virgil, how surprised were you in the low scoring in this tournament?
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of things that need to be understood. You can't make a golf course too long for these guys if the conditions are wet, because they literally know how far they're going to hit every shot to a yard. Like, they know the difference between 180 and 181. And if they know that that ball is going to land and stop immediately or very quickly, they can't tuck pins. They can't make it difficult enough, because they're that precise. They're that good. Now, that would tell you, does the golf ball need to change? Because that's where there's already a rule in place that they're going to begin to roll the golf ball back in 2027. So there's a lot of complaints. The ball goes too far, and the golf course can't defend themselves. I think what we're going to end up finding out is they're going to bring the ball back, and it won't make a bit of difference. And if all of this is to do to nothing, the technology that's out there, the training, and that we know what it takes to be elite, is so much better than it was even when Tiger was in his prime, let alone Nick Faldo, Greg Norman, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, Arnold Palmer. You can't really even compare eras, because of the amount of information that's available. And now elite athletes play golf, not people that weren't good enough to play football, baseball, or basketball. And that's the big difference, is there's a lot of money in golf now, and it's a lifetime sport. They can play it for 20, 25 years as a professional. And it's just a different game. I think Valhalla always produces a great championship, and I think that would be the true definition of what a great golf course is. But there are plenty of people that are losing their mind because it's 21 under par, but I don't buy into that.
There you have it. Golf Channel Academy coach and 3-time best-selling author Virgil Herring.
Hey, Virgil, how about Bryson DeChambeau's final round, right? It looks like he had a chance to win, especially down the stretch. And it's almost like a two-part question, because Liv is coming to Nashville. Yeah, and if a guy like Bryson DeChambeau is on the card, I think I might just show up to watch. What are your thoughts about his performance, and then better yet, the connection, or maybe the comparisons between Liv and the PGA?
Well, I think that Bryson DeChambeau is easily one of the top 5 players in the world, and he's probably the most exciting player in the world. He is this golf nerd where golf is his life. Like, he gets excited, like legitimately excited, giddy when he hits a great golf shot, especially in competition. So you love to watch that level of passion and how much he loves his work. He's definitely one of the best players in the world. He had a chance to win the Masters. He had a chance to win the PGA Championship. I expect him to have his name in the hunt when he goes to the U.S. Open in 4 weeks. He's a great player. Live in the PGA Tour is a universally combative situation that is trying to get resolved, and it is going to get resolved, because I'm here to tell you, when the big issue is money, sponsorship, when the sponsors tell the PGA Tour, if you don't get this figured out, we're out. That's what Royal Bank of Canada just did. The pressure is so high, because you can see having Bryson DeChambeau in a major championship and how much that's detracting from regular PGA Tour events. Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, all the great Cameron Smith, all these great players on the PGA Tour that are on the Live Tour that used to be on the PGA Tour that are no longer there except for the majors. The PGA Tour doesn't reap any benefits off that, because the major championships aren't run by the PGA Tour. So there's a lot of complaints, and there's a lot of pressure to get a deal done. And when we already know when there's 3 commas involved, then you know that's going to get done, and that's what's going to happen. And it might be a little more uncomfortable for the PGA Tour, but they don't have a choice, because if they don't get it fixed, the sponsors are going to start pulling out in droves in 2025, and that's no good for anybody.
By comparison, Virgil, could this be considered an AFL-NFL situation where there may be in the future a potential merger? And how would that look, if that's even possible?
I think that the answer is yes. Now, here's the thing. It's so funny. It's like, if we go back into the late 80s and early 90s, when a lot of the best players in the world were on the European Tour, the PGA Tour offered them 6 exemptions, and they could come over and play in 6 events on top of the 4 majors. So they were over here 10 times. The only reason why that's not possible now is because the PGA Tour was grossly arrogant and just totally dismissed the Saudis. And what they totally missed was when you start dealing with 9 numbers or 10 numbers in somebody's paycheck, man, let me tell you something. That gets people's attention in a hurry. Money won the day, and now it's like, oh, we're in big trouble. And it's exactly right. They are in big trouble because of their arrogance. So now they have to pull it back together again. The PGA Tour still is the big dog. But now there's an elephant in the room with an unlimited bank account, and that usually spells trouble for people that have had this monopoly for so long, and they never thought they could be taken down. And they are now facing the music, and it's going to be interesting to see. But they will put it together, and it'll be just like it was back in the day. The Live Tour guys will get 5 or 6 exemptions. The PGA Tour players will get some exemptions to play over there, and it'll all end up working out in the end like it should have in the beginning. It's just egos and money. Imagine that.
He is Virgil Herring, helping us break down the PGA.
Well, Virgil, I guess what stood out really with Xander's performance, especially that last putt? A lot of pressure, so he came overcome a lot there.
Well, I mean, you guys know what it's like to face history, right? Yeah. And when you're staring down history, you think of all the great moments that you've had, all the preparation that you had. What can you draw on? This is a 6-foot putt. The make rate at 6 feet is like 63% for the PGA Tour. So I got a 63% chance of making this putt. What do I have control over? I have control over my process. I have control over my stroke, but I have no control over the outcome. To be able to let go of the outcome and just let it go is what separated Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan and Roger Federer and all the greats from the people who had a lot of talent, but you never wondered why they made it. At the end of the day, Xander was able to put all of those things aside and just do what he's done 25,000 times already this year, which is knocking a 6-foot putt. And he just trusted himself, and that's what it comes down to. You don't have control over it. You just have to have the best process in your mind and then trust it, because that's what you put all the work in for, and that's what it's all about.
Well, with Virgil Herring, I guess 2-part question. What shot was your favorite shot from Xander, and then what was your favorite shot by any golfer throughout the whole entire tournament, and why was it so impressive?
Well, I think the most important shot, well, there's a couple for Xander. Well, he hit a great drive on 17, and it was probably 8 inches from being perfect, and then he hit it in the bunker. Well, that was a big blow because that was perfect, and it just missed. So now he's got a really difficult next shot, and he got it up by the green, and he made the par. But then the real rubber hit the road. Bryson makes the birdie to tie him, and he hits another great tee shot that goes a little too far, and now he's got to stand in the bunker with the ball about 9 inches above his feet. That is a hard shot, even for the best players in the world. With water right in front of him and a lot of rough between he and the green, the shot that he hit from the bunker is going to be a shot that we'll remember forever. And almost always, the greatest players in the world say, every big tournament, there's going to be a time where you just got to stand in there and hit a shot that's really difficult. And he did that. But I would probably say the shot that I will never forget is the shot that Bryson DeChambeau hit on 16 after his drive hooked into the trees and bounced back out in the fairway. He hit an 8-iron from 224 yards, which is literally absurd. He hit 8-iron from that far. But it landed right by the flagstick. He made the birdie, and the momentum it was insane. I couldn't imagine what it was like to be there because it was probably electric. But that was actually the shot of the tournament, and because it could have been a double bogey if that ball had not kicked out. But the massive turn of momentum of nearly a disastrous shot turning into the next shot being the greatest shot of the tournament, that was huge. But Xander ended up with the most important shot, and he made the putt. And it was a great golf tournament, and I think that the PGA needed it because this Live PGA thing is definitely killing the vibe. But the majors have been doing a pretty good job of bringing it back. So it's going to be awesome when Live comes here. Bryson will be here. Brooks Koepka will be here. It'll be great for them to see, and I hopefully the community come out and support it because I think it's good for golf. It doesn't have to be a rivalry like it is. It's once again, it's just ego and money. These guys are great players, and that's going to be a great event. And I expect I should want many people to go out and see it because they're some of the best players in the world.
No doubt about it. I guess U.S. Open is next. Who are your top 3 favorites for that?
Well, Pinehurst number 2 is a really difficult test. and it's fairly wide open. It's not overly difficult off the tee, but where the difficulties are is the greens. The greens are what they call turtlebacks, where it looks like it's an upside down soup bowl. So the balls reject off the green instead of being collected onto the green.
Gotcha.
So the players that have the best short game, that are also good ball hitters, are the ones we have to look at. So who does that sound like? It sounds like Scotty Scheffler. It sounds like Victor Hovland. It sounds like Jordan Spieth. It sounds like Justin Thomas, and it sounds like Rory McIlroy. If any one of those guys have a good putting week on top of their normal great hitting, you expect them to hold the U.S. Open trophy.
Need a rules update. We're trying to figure out if this is even possible. Can Tiger Woods be part of the senior tour? Or is that not?
Don't laugh, Blaine. That's a legit question.
We were joking, but Bananas was supposed to. We never found out the answer, so I'm asking you, Virgil.
Yes.
What's the process like?
He will. He has to be 50. So as soon as he turns 50, he'll be there. And I know that he's going to. Yes, he'll be able to ride a golf cart then.
Nice.
So that's going to be it's interesting. Tiger doesn't want to. He thinks that walking's an integral part of the PGA Tour. So his buddy in college, Casey Martin, who had his leg amputated, but was also good enough to play on the tour, he voted to not let him in a cart, even though he's his buddy, because he thought that walking was an integral part of the tournament. But the Champions Tour carts are perfectly normal and needed. If he was riding a cart right now instead of having to walk,
right,
he'd be a threat.
Exactly.
And he could, but he's stubborn, that's just Tiger.
Oh, he could ride the cart, really?
I didn't know that.
Oh, his pride would let him do
Daly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, John Daly rode a cart at the PGA Championship. And Casey, even though Tiger voted against it, Casey won the case. So Casey, until he could no longer play, was riding a cart. So his case won. So even though Tiger voted no, the case won for Casey Martin. So he could ride. He just chooses not to. So the real reason why we know Tiger is going to play is that if he wins another USGA event, like a U.S. Open or Senior U.S. Open, he will pass Bobby Jones for the most USGA victories of all time. The chance of Tiger winning a U.S. Open on the PGA Tour side of it is pretty small, like less than 1%. But when he goes to the Champions Tour, he'll be the prohibitive favorite probably until he's 53 or 54, and he wants that record. So he's going to play. He'll probably win more than one, and it'll be just another one of 3,000 things that the record book states that Tiger Woods is the GOAT.
Virgil Herring, spitting knowledge.
Hey, leave us with this, Virgil. Scotty Scheffler obviously didn't finish the way he would have wanted, especially given the conditions that he found himself in before midway. He's still the number one golfer in the world. Am I right, or are we being informed otherwise?
Yeah, he is definitely number one and by a long shot. Not quite as much as Tiger in his prime, but he is very far ahead of Xander Schauffele and Rory, who are 2 and 3, and pretty close at 2 and 3. So he has Tiger-esque statistics. He's just not as flamboyant and as charismatic, but every bit as good.
He's always hitting them straight. He is Virgil Herring. Am I lying on that? Are you always hitting them straight?
I'm hitting pretty straight.
I know, that's right. I love the confidence. Hey, you've been great. We'll catch up to you next week.
Appreciate it, Virg.
Look forward to it, guys.
All right, see
Have
you.
a great one.
Virgil Herring, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, he is a golf instructor. He's worked with PGA and LPGA people, getting them to that level. He's even helped kids get scholarships in golf. Wealth of knowledge there. When we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls at 737-1045. We've also got some Titans talk as OTAs are set to take place tomorrow starting at 11:25. Stick around with more of Blaine Bishop and yours truly, Brad Hopkins. We're brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Stick around.
For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know Eurofix has been in Middle Tennessee area for your European car repair needs now for 24 years. We've all gotten to watch them grow. And I don't know about you, but I love watching a hometown business take off. Well, we are now proud to announce the 5th location in Mount Juliet for Eurofix on Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from Dairy Queen. And Eurofix can serve you in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. Pretty cool getting to watch a small town mechanic starting in the barn in his backyard of a single wide trailer and now grow to 5 locations repairing thousands of cars each month. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. Always tell them Blaine to you.
Final segment. He's Blaine. I'm Brad. Hey, you know what? You being surprised that Tiger Woods would decline a cart, that actually kind of surprises me. Because you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't take some sort of aid to help you do your job.
Absolutely, I would.
You would?
Yeah, if I felt like it was keeping me from performing, yeah, I would. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's
Guess I never knew that about you. I thought for sure you want to stand on your own 2 feet.
Walking in his hills, and you can see his game deteriorate as the tournament goes on when he's walking up a lot of hilly, courses. And if he had just, and I get it, I get why he's not doing it, but and it's the sake of the game. Until I could say I'm in that situation where I'll say what I would do. Let's say that. I think after, but I still want to win. Especially, I want to break some records. If they want to say, and then they made it where I could, yeah, I would. But
don't touch my guy.
But
that's what I'm saying. I don't want tight end help. I don't want backs chipping. I don't want none of that.
So you were speaking for yourself because you wouldn't be.
That's why I thought we were two birds of a feather.
Yeah, about certain things.
I'm obviously a peacock, and you a turkey.
About certain things. Guess what? I want that record.
Yeah.
See, this time I'm going to get that record.
Yeah, but Tiger says, I want to do it like everybody else.
Yeah, well. And nobody's going to have an asterisk by it.
I know, that's right. But who hopefully has an asterisk, which will be maybe a divisional championship or whatever. And I think that some of the things that they've done this offseason might at least make them part of the discussion would be the OTAs set to take place tomorrow. Oh. We're going to see the old and the new getting together. We're going to see Will Levis then start to the chemistry that is necessary, throwing balls to these great receivers that we see. How that
offensive line chemistry.
I didn't want to just jump into that first, but that probably is the most talked about thing going into this offseason because we saw how detrimental that was to the Titans, trying to do something in the division. And I think when you're coupled with, being one of the youngest divisions as far as quarterbacks are concerned, there's a lot, there's a lot to unpack. We've all got, except for Trevor Lawrence, a second-year quarterback. Now, Anthony Richardson has even less than us because he didn't even finish the year. We've seen a sample size of Will Levis.
He's already better than Levis, though, because
because here you go. Go ahead with the pundit. The pundit said so.
I just don't understand how are we going about production or about where they win in the draft?
It's about notoriety. It's about familiarity.
But seriously. But we all know sports has nothing to do with it. It's about production.
It does. Right. In the end.
It's about production.
But I'm going to tell you that somebody I've heard of is way more productive than somebody I haven't because I know that person or I think I know of them. You know what I mean? You might say that this guy's leading in points and never heard of him. You'd be like, well, who in the world? What in the world? Like if LeBron James was not leading the league in points, you might be shocked to see some guy that you never heard of was actually doing it versus someone that's familiar to you.
Yeah, but early in their career, that when you got to sow your oats when you're playing professional sports. So I got to see production. What you did in college has nothing to do with the pros. So that's why I say that.
It does set a level of expectation, though.
Oh, it does. But that doesn't give you the right to think that you've already arrived.
Okay, so
that's what they're doing. That's what they're saying.
The talk about T'Vondre Sweat. They say if my man gets his weight down, he could be a Hall of Famer. Is that just conjecture?
I don't buy into that. You would never hear me say something. I thought that was horrible on his part for saying it.
I think he acknowledged it. Yeah,
whoever said it. Yeah, because you don't know. So no, I don't buy into that. Any of that. That to me, that's all jibber jabber, and it's probably somebody wrote about it or something. I don't know. I don't buy into that until you see what it is like when you're in those trenches. Well, on any level of playing professional sport. I remember we had Chance Womack on. Hey, man, you're a top 10 pick, 10th pick of the draft. What's the difference? Remember, they said Alabama could beat the Cleveland Browns, who didn't win a game. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, we could not have beat them.
Yeah.
The NFL was totally different level. These D tackles are a different level type player. Coming straight out of his mouth immediately the next year. See? So, yeah, you got to prove it. And then some guys can't adapt to the speed of the game.
And that's the biggest challenge. It's just different when people. I think the speed is correlated with the experience because you play faster when you know things already.
Yes,
if you're like I go into my bathroom with the lights completely off. You know why? Because I know where everything is in the bathroom. I know I'm not going to stub my toe on anything. I know where the light switch is, but I can go into there confidently in the dark because I know where everything is. Unlike as a rookie. which is what we're going to see for the first time. The rookies and the veterans getting together. They're running into this dark room and don't know what is in there.
Well, alone the environment, just getting used to being comfortable, even in the facility, knowing where to go.
Yeah.
I mean, people, do you know where everything is your bathroom? Of
course
Bananas,
you do.
With the lights out. Look, no, I see y'all.
Come on, you don't have to turn. You don't have to turn the lights on in your bathroom overnight, do you?
I might grab, my lotion instead of my Listerine if I was trying to.
Go one.
What you put lotion on in the dark for?
Yeah. Well, because he
Why
was
are you going in the bathroom in the dark,
he was just saying he knew where everything.
Everybody goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night, almost.
You don't flip the light on?
Why would you turn the light on? That wakes you up.
Yeah, I want to keep my lights off because my wife was like, turn out the
Yeah,
lights.
that's another thing. You wouldn't turn the lights on if you have a significant other.
Yeah,
That's why you close the door.
Well, he's getting used to that. But Bananas has some breaking news about Tennessee baseball.
Oh, what is it?
The SEC awards just came out. They were announced this hour. And Tennessee has a couple first-teamers in the SEC. Second baseman Christian Moore and outfielder Dylan Dreiling made first team All-SEC. They also had a couple second-teamers in Blake Burke at first base and outfielder Kavaris Tears. Both of those also made the All-Defensive team. Christian Moore was beat out for SEC Player of the Year, though, by Charlie Condone from Georgia, which is weird because for me, and I don't know how the voters take this. I thought the SEC Player of the Year was supposed to be for SEC stats during SEC play only.
Yeah.
Which Christian Moore won the Triple Crown.
Yes, he did.
He had the most
home runs,
most RBIs. Actually, he was tied with RBIs with Condone. But he also had the best batting average. So, but overall, in terms of the full year, Condone had a much better year than Christian Moore.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that voting takes place, but interesting there.
Did they come out with the second?
Go ahead. Oh, what's that? Go ahead.
Did they come out with second? Did you say second team and third team? Or no?
Yeah, Blake Burke and
who got
Kavaris
nuts and
Tears.
bolts is what I want to know. Who do you feel like on the team got nuts and bolts? That means they should have made one of the first, second, or third team.
Maybe
if anybody.
Billy Amick, the third baseman. But the only reason why I think he didn't make it is because he had that month and a half where he was injured. And so that was probably the only reason. But he was Tennessee's probably the best hitter to start the year, and he was one of the most consistent hitters, not named Christian Moore, there throughout the entire season. But I think the missed time kind of did him in.
That dude brought him back. Christian Moore's bats. Telling you what, they were down until this dude swings it. Next thing you know, they're in the game. Start creating some momentum, getting a multi-run innings.
Another reason why he would have been my player of the year.
I mean, it's like a no-brainer for this dude, though. You know, I don't know if you can say it's defense or in the box that is more relevant, nor what will be more relevant this weekend as the number 1 seed Vols get to set the take on potentially the Commodores. It'll be interesting.
But something interesting is going to happen tomorrow. I need everybody to tune in, get ready, get your ideals ready on how Brad and the B and Blaine show should end. But for today, we're just going to say, tighten up. There you go.